Hey, what's happening everyone? This is Swish Culture. As I was checking up on my team, it looks like just about everyone wants something the Warriors have. You saw the potential trade involving Oubre to the Knicks, Wiggins to the Raptors, and today I spotted a rumor regarding a Jonas Valanciunas trade to the Golden State Warriors. This piqued my interest not only because the Warriors need a veteran center, but Valanciunas was a key piece in the Grizzlies getting to the playoffs this year. The fact that he can drop bombs from deep is just icing on the cake. But this is just looking at it from the outside. In a perfect world, we get the player we want, and in return, we trade away the player that least fits our roster. I mean, in reality, who cares how the player we're trading fits on the other team? That's their problem. Unfortunately, we do not live in a perfect world, and so we typically have to give up a player that is of some value to us. This is what makes trades so interesting because a slight difference in ability, whether it be passing, shooting, post-game, penetration, defensive ability, it can make all the difference in the world. NBA analysts spend hours upon hours evaluating players and their fit in a single rotation, not to mention the team as a whole. After watching certain players on other teams, however, if you know your team well enough, you can somewhat tell that you can benefit from having those certain players alongside your best. The basis of the rumor is that Valanciunas might not be the best fit for the Grizzlies based on a single factor that might come back to bite the Grizzlies later on. The idea is that this trade would solve that problem for the Grizzlies while solving the Warriors' need for a floor spacing big at the same time. So after seeing this rumor of Valanciunas to the Warriors, I decided to take a deeper look into this trade and see what it would take for the Grizzlies to agree to a trade, for the Warriors to agree, and whether or not it's even worth it. The collateral damage here is what we're all interested in. If you've been watching and enjoyed the content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you stay updated on all my latest videos. While Ja Morant was spectacular in the series against the Jazz, he needed quite a bit of help to get there in the first place. The Memphis Grizzlies made the playoffs behind the performance of Jonas Valanciunas, who averaged 17 points and 12.5 rebounds in just over 28 minutes while shooting 59% from the floor and just under 37% from 3. While these aren't Jokic level numbers, which is actually a good thing, since the Warriors would certainly not be able to afford him at that level, this makes him rank as one of the top 10 centers in the league today. This puts him ahead of players like Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, and DeAndre Ayton, all of whom would improve the Warriors' strength at that position in the short term. What makes these numbers all the more impressive is the fact that Memphis was in the bottom 6 of teams in three-pointers attempted and only shot 35.6% from 3 as a team. This means Valanciunas had very limited floor spacing to work with and presumably would perform that much better on a team that can reliably hit outside shots. There's no reason to think his level of performance will diminish for another couple of years, so on paper, he's an excellent fit for the Warriors. So why would the Grizzlies trade him? Ironically, Jonas being in his prime years poses a bit of a problem for Memphis. They have their franchise player in Ja Morant to build around, and unfortunately, his timeline doesn't exactly synchronize with that of Valanciunas. The Grizzlies have a very young team, and Jonas at 28 sticks out quite a bit when you consider that both Morant and JJ turned 22 this offseason, Brandon Clark is 24, and Dillon Brooks is 25. Valanciunas at 28 is essentially a dinosaur playing with the Memphis young core and will be well past his prime by the time Ja and Jaren get to theirs. On their current path, the Grizzlies would likely end up being a team that consistently makes the playoffs, but never good enough to make it out of the West or maybe even past the second round. What they need is a younger player that is set to grow with the team and provide valuable, reliable talent at that position years down the road. Of course, this brings its own set of problems, not the least of which being cap space, especially considering the Grizzlies are a small market team. When these players are at their best, they will require more salary, so the salary structure of these players will be very important for the Grizzlies going forward. This leads them to consider a trade scenario with the Warriors. So, who would the Grizzlies want in return? The Warriors would likely have to give up James Wiseman as the main piece in the trade. Now, to make this trade work, a few other pieces have been included. The rumor includes adding Wiggins to the trade, and from the Grizzlies side, they include Kyle Anderson and Justice Winslow. Now, as you can see, a trade like this doesn't work out the gate due to Winslow having a player option for next year. His contract is over and he's just cap filler. If the Warriors did trade for him, they'd immediately waive his contract. I don't really see a place for him on the team despite him being only 24. His three-point percentage was abysmal outside of 2018 and 2019, hovering in the 20s or lower. Kyle Anderson, or Slow-Mo, on the other hand, is a more intriguing pickup. Slow-Mo averaged 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.6 assists in 27 minutes. He's not quite the player Wiggins is, but improved significantly this past season, and at $9 million a year, the Warriors would have a significant benefit from the cap room. That would save Bob Myers a ton of cash while still featuring an improving and still relatively young player in Anderson at 27. Not to mention we get to watch these incredible slow breaks that Anderson uses to throw chase down defenders off balance. This trade with the Warriors waiving Winslow would free up $13 million in cap, which the Warriors would likely hold on to for the time being, with the option of using it mid-season as the team sees how Kyle Anderson adjusts in our lineup. Considering he has plenty of experience and already developed chemistry with JV, it'll help both players have a much smoother transition. A rebounder like Valanciunas has been on the Warriors' wish list for quite some time, and while James Wiseman has huge potential, this trade focuses on winning now. Along with the win now factor, what makes this trade attractive is the fact that the Warriors have a top 10 center in their lineup and a starter level forward who can make another jump in his career next year, while avoiding excessive luxury taxes. This gives them much more wiggle room for Curry's extension, as well as picking up another free agent to help off the bench. The negative is that the Warriors lose Wiseman's upside and their number 2 pick that could have been a future cornerstone of the franchise. Wiseman's development could take a big step forward next season, and if he did so on the Grizzlies, it would be instant regret. The Warriors will have lost a player that could immediately contribute and one that would have significant upside for years to come. That would burn for decades. Wiggins also made big strides with the team and is poised to get even better next year. Let's not forget he is only 26 years old. Both players will be playing on a much better Warrior squad next year, so their own self-improvement as well as chemistry, not to mention the team improvement outside of these two, will make for a much better team next year. If the Warriors say no to the trade, there is nothing that Valanciunas or Kyle Anderson could do next year apart from playing at a superstar level to make the Warriors think twice about rejecting it. And that's only if Wiseman and Wiggins play at the same level or worse than they did this past season, which is highly unlikely. While this trade does have its upside, I would have to hang the phone up on this call if I was Bob. Let me know what you think in the comments if this trade is worth it for the Warriors, and if you're a Grizzlies fan, does Kleiman say no to this trade as well? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Till next time, swish.
I block so hard, sweaty get served. Call me Lonzo Ball, bitches get swerved.
Usually I don't get down with these girls, but tonight it's on my mind, so I might eat these words. I just wanna